there's a very important story that we're going to cover right now that no one else is paying any attention to. And that is the story of the mentally disturbed young lady who happened to have been African American, and that's an important point, with a baby in the back seat, got lost outside the White House, was penned in by the Secret Service and the Park Police. They executed her. There was a long investigation by Eric Holder's Civil Rights Division, and they found not guilty. Everyone was not guilty. Now, the lawyer for this young lady, her name is Ms. Carey, she's dead, is with us now on the Savage Nation to fill in the missing blanks. Eric Sanders, welcome to the program. Thanks for being with us.
Yes, thank you for inviting me on today's show.
So, Mr. Sanders, Miriam Carey, do you think she just got lost outside the White House?
Yeah, we think she got lost, but I just want to clarify something I heard in the opening. There is no evidence that she is mentally disturbed. That is just something that's reported in the media.
So she was not mentally disturbed. Okay, I apologize for that. So Miriam Carey gets lost around the White House. She panics, and the Secret Service and Park Police chase her. Is that what happened?
Well, that's what happened. And of course, when they did the investigation, they released some parts of what occurred, but of course they didn't release the most important part, which is they were chasing her and caused such a speed. That's what happened. Okay, what happened to police for a long time. People panic. It's not unusual.
Okay, so she was in a panic. They bring her to a halt, and then what happens, Mr. Sanders?
And what happened, due to their poor police tactics, she was able to get away. But I want the readers, the listeners to focus on something. You'll see the picture that was posted by them that there was supposed to be an off-duty Secret Service officer who put this metal rack in front of her, actually at the police barrier, placed it in front of her vehicle, and then the same off-duty was at the scene of the first shooting, which is Garfield Memorial. And you'll notice the report, they don't say who discharged their weapons. I bet my pension, my police pension, and my license, your license, that he discharged his weapon to her. Guaranteed.
But here's the most important part to the listeners of the Savage Nation. They don't remember the story. It happened a couple of years ago. I was shocked that they would do this to a woman once they stopped her car. Didn't they violate all police protocol by unloading their weapons on a stopped car?
I can't even begin to tell you. Now, I just look at the Secret Service old policy. You can't even discharge your weapon in moving policy. The district you can't move things, you can't discharge, and I'm pretty certain the Capitol Police can't, because they want to portray themselves as being a member of Carey, which is really the Council of Police Societies, where they like to be certified and accredited how great they are. Meanwhile, according to their own policy, you can't discharge a weapon in a moving vehicle. Not only can you not discharge, if you place yourself tacitly in a position where you discharge, the shooting is never justified.
All right, so who did the investigation of the shooting of your client who is now dead?
The Washington Metropolitan Police Department.
Oh, that's a very reliable investigative body. So they came to the conclusion, you mean there was no Civil Rights Division of the U.S. government looking into this under Eric Holder?
No Civil Rights Division. It's funny because the Metropolitan Police Department under, what's the name again, the Kathleen Lanier, they have their own excessive use of force violence and shootings and people accusing the police of abusing them. They have their own problems. So I would think that would be the wrong agency to look at excessive conduct.
How come Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton didn't march for the memory of Miriam Carey?
I have no idea, but see, when we brought this case, we decided that we weren't going to do all that. We're not about the bravado and just having a big showcase. We're interested in the facts, and that's what we're trying to show people. The facts are just not there to support their position. The facts support what I said from the beginning. This is about police bravado, and this is why this woman is dead, because the police overreacted, and then they follow along with their brethren instead of stopping for what they're doing. They continue along with the path of destruction.
Why do you think they shot the woman? Here's the main thing. The car came to a halt. They got it penned in. She's in the car with a baby in the back, and they unload their weapons. How many shots were fired at her?
Well, the first time they discharged 8 times at her, and what they claimed is, well, she was giving me a run down at colleagues. And I said, wait a minute. Are you telling me that you discharge your weapon towards a moved vehicle? No. A vehicle is moving away from you because you were trying to save your colleagues in front of you. Well, you're a bigger bunch of morons. And see, I've been pretty temperate during this whole thing, but see, I know how police officers train. That's not what you're trained to do. So you fire your weapons towards your brethren. That doesn't even make any sense. And by the way, they shot her 4 times in the back and 1 time in the back of the head, which they just mentioned in the press release. because they know it sounds bad. They shot it.
Why, do you think that there was? Do you think this is the problem? I don't want to get into conspiracy theories. Why? You're not saying they executed her on purpose, are you?
I'm not saying they executed on purpose. What I'm saying is the police officers overreacted. And what happens, and I'm from that law enforcement culture, once you get these cops wound up, if the supervisors are not there to temper and get control of things quickly get out of control. Whether it's Rodney King, you can pick any one of these police incidents, they're all the same. Once you get...
It's funny you raise the specter of Rodney King. Let's not put race out of this picture. She's an unarmed African-American woman with a baby in the back seat, and she's killed by the Secret Service. Why were there no commentaries about this in the African-American community?
I have no idea, because I think part of the problem is because they already demonized her and made it look like she was crazy. I don't care if she has 15 mental conditions. That gave the police absolutely no right to discharge a weapon on her. Matter of fact, if they knew the information, they still would have to have firearm restraint, because unless you can show you have articulable belief that you are about to be killed or someone's about to be seriously injured or dead, you have no right to discharge your weapon. I don't care what state you're in.
All right, so Eric Sanders, you're a former cop who's now a lawyer. You're representing the estate of Miriam Carey. And what you want is what? What do you want?
We want those people to be held to justice for what they did. We want a full release of that report so the people can evaluate the evidence themselves. And we want the family to be compensated. We want the estate to be compensated. We want the child to be compensated. And we want her mother to be compensated, Idella Carey. And we want policy changes and the rules of engagement around the District of Columbia, because despite what popular belief is, the fact that Washington's alleged terrorist attack doesn't mean the Constitution gets thrown out of the window.
Very good. Eric Sanders, lawyer for Miriam Carey, the unarmed African-American lady who was executed in plain sight. Thank you for being with us. I hope that the truth does prevail.